All right, welcome back to The Explainer. So today we're tackling a universal problem that I know sneaks up on literally all of us. I'm talking about that totally suffocating feeling of being overwhelmed by just the sheer volume of minor everyday tasks. You know exactly the feeling, right? It's usually not the massive life events that drain us. It's the endless stream of tiny little chores that just kind of chips away at our sanity. So today we're going to learn exactly how to conquer that clutter and honestly get our peace of mind back.
Okay, let's dive into this. Why do these tiny little chores feel so exhausting? Well, the truth is, it's actually not the physical effort of the tasks themselves, it's the psychological weight. When everyday tasks just sit there uncompleted, they kind of transform into this endless loop of shoulds echoing in our heads. Like, oh, I should do this, I should do that. Man, I really should have done that yesterday. And this modern condition of just being constantly bogged down by these tiny obligations, it creates a massive, super fatiguing mental block that basically paralyzes us. I mean, we have all been there. You walk into the kitchen and there's a double sink completely full of dirty dishes, or that giant pile of laundry just sitting in the corner of your bedroom, or, a dozen unanswered text messages just glaring at you from your phone. In the grand scheme of life, these are what we categorize as urgent but not important tasks. Like, sure, they aren't going to define your legacy, but they pile up, one by one, into this massive mental burden. They become these really annoying little chores that distract us from doing the stuff that actually matters.
Section 1. The Procrastination Playground. Let's take a look inside your mind. So, to really understand why we avoid taking simple actions, we've got to look at the characters running the show up in your head. First up is the instant gratification monkey. Now, this is the part of your mind that strictly lives in the moment. It doesn't care about the future at all. It just prefers comfort, it takes the easy way out, and man, it has a truly wonderful talent for noticing shiny objects. Whenever you have a big long-term goal or an important project, this monkey just completely derails you. It pushes you toward time wasters, social media, whatever, just vigorously avoiding anything that feels like actual work or discomfort. And hey, if the monkey wasn't enough, say hello to the 800-pound gorilla. This represents your unconscious mind, and this is an absolutely crucial concept from our source material. Because listen, you can make as many conscious commitments as you want. You can write down 100 perfectly color-coded to-do lists, but literally nothing changes until this 800-pound gorilla says so. This gorilla ultimately dictates your resistance to big tasks. If your unconscious mind doesn't actually believe you can accomplish something, well, you're just not going to move forward, period. So, on one side of this battle, we have your rational decision maker. This is the smart, responsible version of you who plans ahead. But because of the monkey and the gorilla, the rational decision maker is mostly just ignored. So what actually finally gets you to act? Enter the panic monster. The panic monster wakes up at the absolute last possible minute just to scare you into acting. And this perfectly illustrates just how terrible our default system really is. I mean, just waiting for the panic monster to scare off the monkey, it is such an exhausting, totally anxiety-inducing way to get things done. Section 2. The ultimate solution. Let's talk about bypassing that mental block. Because honestly, we do not have to live at the mercy of the panic monster. Introducing the 2-minute rule. Here is the definition straight from our source material. It dictates that if a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, you must do it immediately rather than adding it to your to-do list. And let me tell you, this simple time management heuristic is the ultimate hack to stop small chores from piling up. Why? Because it completely bypasses the instant gratification monkey and that 800-pound gorilla. It requires zero planning, zero lists, and absolutely zero dread. It demands immediate action before your mind even has a chance to mount a resistance. So the crucial point here is just how beautifully simple the steps are. Step 1, notice the task. Step 2, do it immediately. Try contrasting this lightning-fast process with the exhausting old way of doing things. The old way meant noticing a dirty dish, maybe writing it down on a chore list, scheduling a time to clean the kitchen, dreading it for like 3 solid hours, and then eventually letting the panic monster force you to do it right before bed. The 2-minute rule just cuts out the middlemen entirely. Notice it, do it, done. Section 3, building instant momentum through mini habits and micro commitments. As Dr. Glenn Doyle points out, always look for the thing you can do. 1% beats 0%. And really, that is the core philosophy here. Action inspires effort. When you just do something really small, when you lock in that tiny 1% win, it naturally paves the way for much bigger wins. Those little successes build up your confidence, and they prove to that stubborn 800-pound gorilla in your unconscious mind that, yeah, you actually are entirely capable of taking action. Now, what's really interesting about this concept is how it applies to habit building. When you use the 2-minute rule to start a new habit, your goal shouldn't be some massive milestone. It should just be the number one. One represents a ridiculously small task, a task so incredibly tiny that your brain's fear and avoidance mechanisms don't even trigger. The source material actually gives us some, honestly, stupidly small examples of this. Like, want to get fit? Do not commit to a grueling 60-minute workout. Just commit to doing exactly one push-up. Want to eat better? Just eat one single carrot. Feeling overwhelmed by a totally messy house? Wash one dish. Need to write a book? Tell yourself you'll write for just 3 minutes. These ridiculously small actions are brilliant because they create consistency. And consistency is the actual foundation of habit formation. Because think about it, once you're already down on the floor doing one push-up, you're probably going to end up doing 5. Once you wash one dish, you'll probably wash 3. The real friction is just in the starting, and these micro commitments totally eliminate that friction. Section 4, the time management reality, bringing some ancient wisdom into our modern chaos.
So if we zoom out to a slightly higher philosophical level here, we often think our main problem is that we just don't have enough time. But the ancient Greeks actually had 2 very different concepts of time, chronos and kairos. So chronos is clock time. It's measurable, it's about schedules, it's literally the ticking of the seconds. It's inevitable. Kairos, on the other hand, is experiential time. It's all about finding the right moment, acting rightly, and just living in the flow of existence. And the thing is, while we are all bound by chronos, we can actually choose to live in kairos. And this shift, it totally elevates our simple 2-minute productivity hack from just a clever trick to get chores done into a deeply mindful way of living and experiencing the present moment.
Which brings us to this incredibly powerful, yet super simple phrase, do the next right thing. Now, this is a staple in a lot of recovery programs, and it really serves as our core piece of wisdom today. When you're feeling totally overwhelmed by the clock, by Chronos, you do not need to sit down and figure out your entire 5-year plan. You just need to simplify your choices. Reduce the whole burden down to just the immediate, present action. Just look at what is right in front of you and just do the next right thing. Section 5, conclusion. Let's talk about reclaiming your time and energy.
Because ultimately, reclaiming your time isn't really just about having a magically empty inbox or a perfectly organized living room. It's about mental clarity. Clearing away the daily minutia using the 2-minute rule frees up the actual psychological energy you need to engage purposefully with a good, meaningful life. And I want to leave you with this absolutely incredible Chinese proverb. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The next best time is now. Seriously, it is never, ever too late to start taking action. Do not beat yourself up over the tasks you procrastinated on yesterday. Your rational decision maker is in charge right now. Today is your next best time.
So I'm going to leave you with one final, kind of provocative question. What 2-minute task are you avoiding right now? No, seriously, think about it for a second. Is there an email you need to send? Is there a random coffee mug staring at you from the sink? A super quick phone call you need to make? Because as soon as this explainer ends, I am challenging you to immediately go and conquer that task. Go take back your momentum. Thank you so much for hanging out and learning with me today, and I'll catch you next time.